Hello and welcome back. Here are 12 reasons why Warzone is finally back. For me personally, I do not think it is the map. Don't get me wrong, the map is nice, but it's everything else that makes the Warzone great again. Let me know in the comments what you think about Warzone. Is it back? Number 1. Rotations are back. Thank God it actually plays like a BR. If you want to go for a wonder, for whatever reason, maybe you want to get a bit of loot, maybe you want to get that final kill, maybe you want to get a contract, fine. But you actually have to think about your next move, and you might put yourself out of position. You have to rotate, you have to think about it, rather than just jumping on a redeploy. And that brings us to number 2, no redeploy balloons. This is hands down the best change that they have made. Without redeploy balloons, positioning is key. No longer can you get from one side of the map to the other in 10 seconds. Personally, this massively helps people like me who are okay at the game, but not amazing. And it also massively helps us campers, so if you like to camp on a roof, it's much easier to do. You're no longer getting dropped on by SEAL Team 6 because they've hit a redeploy balloon. That means that the game is more balanced and more readable. You can actually think about where people are going to come from rather than the sky. Number 3. Vehicles are back. As there's no redeploy balloons, you might actually have to use a vehicle. Now this is really important. I mean, vehicles are really fun to use, but also they are risk reward. You come up on your map if you choose to use one, which might mean that if you're in a lobby with people like me, you're going to get shot with a rocket launcher. Sure, you could put on a trophy, you might be able to get from one point to the other, and that's great. However, you might want to be more stealthy, you might choose not to use a vehicle, and you might choose to go on foot instead. But if you're caught out in the open on foot, then you're pretty much dead. So vehicles are really important because they bring back this risk-reward nature. And sometimes you might actually have to use a vehicle to get across the map, rather than just jumping on a redeploy balloon. So vehicles are back, and it makes it more interesting. Number 4. Because vehicles are back, rocket launchers and javelins and the like, they're all back. Because suddenly you've got a chance of getting a squad, and my god, is it absolutely fun. I forgot that thrill of taking out a vehicle and seeing these boys on the floor, and it's just funny, it's just good. Everyone and their mum at the moment is running the HDR. Fine, I get it, you want to snipe, but most players are not expecting rocket launchers at the moment. So put on a rocket launcher, trust me, you will get so many kills on unsuspecting players who think that they're just going to be sniped at. As particularly that Jeep looking vehicle, that is so good at stopping bullets, but it doesn't stop a rocket launcher, baby. So rocket launchers are back, love it. Number 5, camping is back. And I know, I'm not supposed to say that, but tough. Not everyone is sweaty and able to run through the map and just roll up on people. Camping, where you've got no zips and you've got no redeploy balloons, allows players who are average or probably not very good at all, it actually allows them to actually be able to position themselves in a position that means that they might actually win a fight. And it's a choice, right? Why are you complaining? Someone has planned their rotation, they've planned to go onto a building, and they've decided to stay there. That's up to them. That's their choice. You have the same option, but you decide to go, I don't know, run around the map and get 20 kills. That's up to you. So if you get killed by a camper, sorry not sorry, but it makes the game more balanced. Number 6, lives actually matter again. With there being no redeployment flares, gulag tokens, you have your one gulag and you might be brought back by a teammate if you can get to a buy station. This means that each life is so much more important. So rather than it being like multiplayer, and it felt like multiplayer, like, you know, people would keep coming back, and it's always the good teams that are keep redeploying, which makes it harder for the average, more casual players. So now you can actually get a squad wipe without continually being dropped on by their mates. This is a massive win, it gives it more high stakes, and you actually have to take calculated risks running around the map. If you've used your gulag and you're running around the map, you might actually think about holding back a little bit more. I think that helps the more casual players and stops the sweats from just destroying, which actually is better. Number 7, sniping is back. One-shot sniping was a staple of the original game. It was amazing. People were getting these 500-meter snipes with the HDR, and the HDR is back and it is enjoyable. Yes, is it annoying to get shot from across the map? Of course, yeah. You know, you can't see them, they've shot you across the map, and that can be frustrating. But it takes skill, and it can be fun to use a sniper. It creates interesting moments, and you might actually have to think about what you're doing. So if you're running up against a sniper, and you don't have a sniper, maybe you have to disengage, maybe you have to rotate, maybe you have to think about how you're going to engage instead. And this loadout choice creates more variety in the game, and it's more enjoyable with one-shot snipers. Now, I can't snipe, I'm not very good at sniping. I run a rocket launcher, and that's fine, but I try to tend to disengage when I see a sniper, but that's fine. I don't mind if somebody wants to snipe and they hit a good shot on me. Fair enough, well played. Number 8. Self-revives are finally back and important again. They went for a time of, you know, not being important. You'd get killed or beamed across the map and somebody would get on a redeploy balloon and land on you and they'll just finish you off. Or they'll just roll up on you and you'll die. Nowadays, the map is quite big, there's lots of open space, so if you get sniped or whatever, you can get behind cover and you actually have a chance of using the self-revive. Personally, I buy the self-revive before a loadout in solos because there's lots of times where you will get shot or third-party from across the map and hit the quick self-revive and you're back in the map. So self-revives actually have more importance again, and I think that's really a good thing because it can create epic moments where you could win a game or you could change your fortunes by hitting the self-revive. Number 9. Finally, without backpack systems, there are like 5 plates for each person and 8 if you have a satchel. This means that you can't just sit there and tank bullet after bullet after bullet and keep plating. You actually have to go out and loot again. You actually might have to think about what you're carrying. You might actually have to carry a plate box instead of something else. And it's them choices that actually make it good. You're making them decisions based on the situation. If a team wants to stay in a position and you keep taking their plates, eventually they've got to move. And that's much better for the game. Number 10. Regain or regaming is harder. Yes, I know some people hate that and they think, oh, there's not enough money, I can't get my teammates back. But I actually think it's a good thing. Because if you've lost a player, you should be at a disadvantage. You should have to try to get that player back. If you've got teammates like mine, I am continually looking for money. I'm continually having to do contracts or rush into the buy station because it's the only player I've got. You know, often you might be in a 1v3 or a 1v4 situation, and the most important thing is to get your players back up, no matter how bad they are. So sure, yeah, it might take a lot of time to get money, only to get rolled up on, but when you pull it off, it's really fun, and you're back in the game, and you can spend the next half an hour telling your teammates how they're just rucksacking, and it's quite enjoyable. Because it's not easy, it actually matters. And it improves the game and the flow of the game. Number 11, strategy actually matters. So for the reasons I've suggested already, strategy actually comes into the game again. So what contracts are you going to do when you drop? Will you do a recon heli strat? Or are you thinking about, I'm going to do a supply run, get the self-revives for the squad? Do you want to land somewhere quiet to, you know, maybe just get a little bit of loot, get into the game slowly? Or do you want to land in hot, land at Superstore? Maybe you can take out 3 or 4 players, get yourself pumped at the start of the game, get yourself a loadout. All of these decisions at the start of the game are important, but then later on, there's even more important decisions like when will you rotate? And how will you rotate? These decisions change every single game based on where you are. And yes, you can make good calls, you can make bad calls, but it feels different, it feels organic. And it's not just, oh, I've got a redeploy balloon, let's fly over there. Inevitably, you will get this wrong on occasion. Like, you know, the amount of times you get in a heli that your teammate said was bait and then it gets blown up. Or you rotate too late, or you rotate too early, or you go into the wrong building. It doesn't matter. The point is it makes it enjoyable because you have them conversations, you have them strategies, and you work on it and you have a laugh at the same time. So strategy actually matters, and it makes these epic gameplay moments. Number 12, wins actually feel good again. Winning is so hard in BR in general, and on Warzone it's so competitive, particularly now that everyone knows the mechanics. I mean, it's not like the original Warzone because people were just getting to know the game. Nowadays everyone's coming back and they all know what to expect. it makes it harder to win. I've only got 2 wins so far on Verdansk. They're both solo wins. Like I said, I've got an Avengers of bots, so struggling in trios or quads. But I'll get there eventually, and that's okay. Winning is hard, but it feels satisfying because it's more high stakes. Pace of the game can create this amazing story with you and your squad, and you kind of got these shared experiences to try and win the game. And when you get close, maybe you're in the final circle or whatever, and you don't quite get it, it's really rewarding to eventually get that win, or to come back on and try and get that win. Solos is just as rewarding. It's hard, obviously, but it's that accomplishment of I'm the last person out of 150, and when you get that win, you want to do it again and again and again. It's really addictive. Let me know what you think. Is Verdansk back?